All right, we got brand new court documents reveal. Bryan Kohberger, the suspect accused of killing 4 Idaho college students, apparently stalked their home at least 12 times before the crime and came face to face with another roommate during the murders.
Cell phone data also shows he apparently returned to the scene just hours later before police were even called.
And our next guest unfortunately lost his daughter, Kaylee, during that attack. His name is Steve Goncalves. And he also joins us with attorney Shanon Gray. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Good morning. Steve, were you there? Were you there in the courtroom?
I sure was. We expect to have somebody there every day.
What did you think when you saw the suspect, the man that might have killed or is allegedly killed your daughter?
Yeah, when I seen the defendant, I seen somebody that looked like he was overwhelmed and had no idea what was going on. He didn't look as confident as I thought he was going to be based off of his background.
How'd you feel, though?
Oh, my feelings were, I was angry. I'll be honest, I was angry, and I wanted to do, my mind was filled with different things, but I kept my cool and my composure, and there's a right way to do things, and that's what I was thinking about.
Steve, I can't imagine. Also want to get your reaction to this affidavit, which revealed a lot of information we didn't previously know. What of the revelation, what were new to you? What details stick out to you?
The actual location of the sleeve, the knife sleeve, that we had heard that there was a sleeve, but we didn't know the location. We heard there was a DNA, but there wasn't a hit in the database. So knowing that they had put all those things together in the timeline that they wrote from like the beginning to the last page was very precise, and it painted a picture of, weeks and weeks of investigation and following. And each line gave me a little bit more confidence that we were in a very good position.
Steve, there's so many questions. As great and as informative as that affidavit was, there's still a lot of questions out there. Just curious, did they keep the families involved? And if so, how? Did they say, we're very confident we have a suspect, we think we're getting closer? Did they let you see this timeline before they actually even made the arrest?
No, we filled in parts of the timelines through the time. It was a co-work, but those guys did by far the vast majority of the work. We kind of inserted ourselves, and we said we need to be communicated. We wanted to have meetings. We wanted to be helpful. We had this audience. We had people that were willing to listen and willing to help and provide information that may have been missing. We had this white card to look for. So yeah, they helped, and we worked together. But I didn't have the details like that, and I told them not to give me any details that could accidentally mess up the case.
So did you know for the first time, like we did, that one of the roommates came face to face with him and described him with bushy eyebrows, with a thin build but an athletic build, the way we now know that was written? Did you know that?
I had heard that somebody had seen somebody in a mask. I didn't know if it was something that was like yelled out, and one of the people that was downstairs heard that. I did not know it was one of the people downstairs that actually eyewitnessed this person. And to me, it was just a call. So I wasn't positive that it wasn't just a rumor. So we never mentioned it. The details in the affidavit are kind of shocking. But I'm sure we'll get the more details as time goes on. But yeah, it reads very bizarre.
Shanon, if he is convicted, do you expect the death penalty?
Well, I think Steve and the family have talked about it, and I think it's something that the decision that will be made by all the families on whether or not the death penalty is something that the state pursues on this case. So I don't think it's just a decision for the Goncalves family. I think it's a decision for all the victims' families, and then, they'll see where it goes from there.
Shanon, you had a chance to look at this affidavit as well. How airtight is the case as you look at it right now?
Well, I thought the affidavit was, a lot of information was in the affidavit, and it sounds like it's a solid case. I was a former prosecutor myself, now a criminal defense attorney. I look at it in both ways. As a prosecution, it looks like it has a really great timeline. There's DNA evidence. There's the evidence from the cell phones and the automobile, and that he was aware of the location coming back and forth. So there's a lot of good information there. And then when I flip over to the defense side, I still have a hard time understanding how they're going to get past the DNA evidence on the sheath. A lot of times in cases that I've defended, sometimes you go in and you sit down and you talk with the defendant and say, hey, this is a great piece of evidence. How do we get past this piece of evidence? And so I think that's one of the most convincing pieces of the affidavit is the DNA evidence. So
sometimes, Steve, you have gut feelings. Did you think when you looked at this guy in the jumpsuit, you were looking at your daughter's killer?
Yeah, I did. I did a research before I came into that courtroom. I was looking for a certain look. I wanted him to meet me eye to eye. He had done that exact same behavior previously when he was in Pennsylvania, and he chose not to, or he was afraid to look back. And for me, that wasn't a good sign. What
about the fact that he smiled?
I didn't see it. I heard about that later. I don't know. It's hard to comment on that.
You know, Steve, we're all parents, and for every parent watching, when you give birth, you hold that baby and you have all these dreams for them, and you go through the hard years, the years of them always being with you and needing your help to get the small things, the cereal, the milk, and all of that. And then you go through the hard teenage years, and then you look forward to their 20s when they're going to get married and they're going to bring grandchildren home, and you've gotten through all that and you've raised these amazing kids. He robbed that from you and your wife. What goes through your mind when you think about that? Do you think about that when you see him, or do you just want to jump over and do what most dads would want to do and take him out or take him down and, you know, beat him up or whatever it is?
I mean, the physical side is there, but I know that's not realistic. So what I go with is I can make this man feel like he picked the very worst family to do that to. And every time he turns on the TV, he sees us. And every time he thinks something positive is happening in his case, he sees one of us communicating and he realizes he has zero hope. That's what I hope, and that's what I can do. I don't want to worry and think about things that I'm still going to, but those aren't realistic things for me to just put my time and energy into. I might as well stay focused on what I can do. And I want this guy to be sick of seeing me, sick of hearing the cases. New evidence keeps coming in from audience members, just like what you guys have on today. And I want this case to get stronger and stronger to the point where he realizes that he's not going to be on the planet that long.
Steve, you've been an amazing advocate for your daughter, and the courage it takes to be in that courtroom and see him is immense. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, as well as Shanon Gray, the attorney. Good luck as things move forward to January 12th.
Yeah, Steve, we're so sorry for what you're going through. God bless your family. Thank you for speaking out.
Thank you for your prayers.
Thank you.
Have a good day.